Welcome back to another episode of the Call Me Other podcast. I am Faith, one and only Faith here, and I know it has been a while, but I am back. And this week, we are going to be talking all about the 20s and the quarter life crisis. But before we get to that, I want to check in with everyone and make sure everyone is doing well, that you are taking a second to breathe, do those breathing exercises. Everybody can't afford a therapist, so do your breathing exercises, take your sick days, enjoy your life, and take a moment to just embrace today. So I just want to check in and make sure everyone's doing okay. And like I said, it's been a while. It's been probably close to 3 months since I have podcasted, and that's just because I simply don't feel like it. I think having energy and finding energy to do things has just been low for me. I'm not going to make excuses in this moment because anything is disingenuous. So I'm just telling y'all the truth. I have been lazy, not doing nothing, barely been feeling anything, just eating bad. I think it all started whenever I went home. I went home for a funeral and just losing another close family member, being so far away from home. And I thought the closer we get to summer that I'll feel better because I live in a cold climate now. So summer reminds me of home and just warm weather. But it is the opposite. I just feel like I haven't been feeling like myself and just really going through a lot of mood changes and not being able to commit to anything. And I think that's just been relatable in my everyday life and just especially even more now. So yeah, that's just kind of something I've been going through and just trying to push through and just kind of find that energy to be like, I can do this, I know I can do this, but just not feeling up to it. I wish I could do more and just going through those growing pains of life and just not giving myself grace. And then I was talking to my coworker, and she was talking about this new Netflix show, and it's called Quarter Life Crisis. And let me tell you, that is me right now. So everything I'm going through, I think is because of me managing my expectations. I think in life, the more we see things, the more we envision things for our life. And when life doesn't turn out that way, it can kind of send you in a downward spiral. And I think that's what's been happening for me. I think we all envision this great life, and for some reason, when we are growing up, life starts and ends. Well, life ends. Let me fix this. There we go. So life ends when you're 25 for some reason, and I don't know why that is, but that's something I think we've been taught, because 25 is supposed to be when you have just everything in life, and I think living that truth now and being 25, I'm like, yeah, I need a refund because 25 is not what it's cracked up to be. But then I hear people say it's just your 20s. But either way it goes, no matter what's being said, I think me in this moment, I've just been just working from a point of not having gratitude and just being super, super duper ungrateful for just everything. And I think when I get in these downward spirals, I feel like I have so many problems, the world is on my shoulder, and those things are just simply not true. But I think I allow those things to exist because I just have given energy to so much negativity instead of just opening my eyes and showing gratitude. And what I mean by that is can change in an instant. And I think that we become so ungrateful for just simple things because we have them. If you have it already, you're going to step back the goalpost. You're going to be like, well, I do this every day, so you don't express gratitude for it. But it's also what we range our happiness on. If I had a couple of more $1,000s, I'd be happy. If I had this, I'd just be happier. But I think a lot of it is just managing expectations for life and just being able to appreciate things. It's a blessing if you have transportation to get to work. It's a blessing if you're healthy. Yeah, you might want to lose a few pounds. I've always wanted to lose a few pounds, but this body wakes me up. It carries me. It's healthy. I don't rely on anything to go to bed. I just went for my doctor physical and everything, and I think all of those things need to be noted. And I think so often we don't think about that because we're just so busy going through things. And I think that's what this quarter life crisis is all about. A crisis is a critical point of something. So I feel like I'm at a critical point of life when really life is just starting. And that's what I think that I wish we realized, because we spend so much time looking at what we don't have, because that's kind of what we're taught. If you have this, this, and this, you'll be happy. And I think when you're 25, you've reached this pinnacle of adulthood, and you just feel like it's just like, this is life now. And it's just like, no, life is still journeying on, and it's going to be steps when you're 35, 45, 55. But we're not taught that. So we just feel like we're just in this constant just just a lateral of different things. And it's just like we wish we could just kind of just have different things. And it's all because of what we are taught. So I think all of those things play just such a critical point in who we are as people and what we allow into society. And when I'm going through these downward spirals in life, I always rely on Auntie O. You can say what you want to, but Oprah gonna always uplift this one, okay? So she recently had Lynn she had Lynn Twist on her Super Soul Sunday, and Lynn Twist was talking about scarcity, and I thought this was just so relatable to people my age, because it's just like I feel like when you're 25, you hit a period of panic, like a scarcity thing, like if I don't do it by now, I'm never going to do it. And here's what she had to say, and I thought this was just so encouraging. Again, this is Lynn Twist. She's an author.
The toxic myths and the great lie of scarcity. Now, once again, this is an unconscious, unexamined set of assumptions, a paradigm in which we live that has us look out in the world before we even think and see there's not enough to go around. And someone somewhere is always going to be left out, and I got to make sure it's not me and mine, whoever I consider that to be. I feel bad about that, but I can't help them until I have way more than I need to take care of me and mine. So the first myth is there's not enough. The second myth is more is better. More of anything, more of everything is better. More. And we live in, as we all know, a tyranny of messages that don't stop telling us we need more of this, more of that. We're not tall enough. We're not skinny enough. We're not educated enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not this enough or that enough, until we accumulate more, until we buy more. So the more is better culture is everywhere, and it doesn't leave us alone. And then the third toxic myth is, that's just the way that it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the third one is, I think, the worst, because it holds the whole mindset in place. It has us think that we can't do anything about it, so we don't try. It's the source of resignation. It's the source of people not thinking they can make a difference. It's the source of institutionalized racism. It's the source of institutionalized poverty. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just the way that it is. So we live in a culture that demeans human life, that exalts more of anything and everything, makes us feel that we're not enough, doesn't give us any access to our wholeness, and has us think that's just the way that it is. And no wonder people are miserable in their relationship with money.
Yeah. And you say, too, I love this, that if you want a clear picture of your priorities in life.
But yeah, so in that, she was just basically reflecting on just like scarcity, and also just like the need for more. You all kind of heard what she was saying, but I just think those things are so true about life, because I feel like we phase so much of our time and so much of our energy on just like things that we don't have, and us needing more. Like, and that's just our relationship with money, our relationship with other people, just everything. Nothing's ever good enough. So it leads us always being like, we need more happiness. But what is happiness rooted in? Is it you getting married? Is you having kids? Is you getting a better job? You making more money? And we just put so much into things that are not within us. And I feel like happiness starts within. So if you're looking outwardly for happiness, you'll never find it. And I think that's the pinnacle of this quarter life crisis that I'm going through, because I keep searching for what's going to make it better. But everything's already inside. So I think me accepting that, and accepting that, hey, this is my life, and I can live it to, to the way I want. And I don't need these outward sources or these outward things to make me complete. But I think just the culture we live in, we're taught that you're happy when you're this, and this, when you're college educated, when you have a family, when you can take care of your parents. Or we just taught so many things about what is happiness that we never even get a chance to get a raw vision of it and accept things that we want. We never know what we want, because we're given these media images at an early age, and they tell us this is what life should be. And I think that just molds us into these creatures of habit that just spend our lives wanting more, because if you get more, then somehow you'll be happy. And none of that equals out. So I think living in the moment is something that I wish I could tell myself in this quarter life crisis, that, hey, you're going to be okay, because I think there are so many things that we tell ourselves subconsciously. And one of those things is just scarcity. Like, oh my gosh, at 25, there's not going to be any good men left. There's not going to be any money left, any good jobs left. I'm getting older, and da-da-da-da. And I just think me going through that and just going through this downward spiral of, well, what is my life going to be, instead of accepting and embracing it and being like, yeah, you know what? I work. I'm in the field that I want to be in. I'm passionate. I'm learning. I'm growing. And I should be grateful for those moments in life, because one day I wish that I had these same problems. And I think we don't realize how minute our problems are until we get something big, life changing. Something that happened when, I apologize for that passing outside of my apartment, but when I went to the funeral, my family member's funeral, recently, one of the things the pastor said, which was, death catches our attention. It takes life-changing things to catch our attention, and life changes in a moment. You know, I met this woman who said, like, basically, her son got in an accident, and, you know, now he's paralyzed. That's how fast life changes. Like, he woke up, he was doing great, he got in this accident, and boom, just like that, a life-changing moment. And that's why you need to appreciate where you are now. And by y'all, I mean myself. Appreciating where I am now, because where I am now is more is a gratitude, and that doesn't mean I can't continue to change and evolve and want better things in life, but I also don't have to be ungrateful, because I think when you enter a period of acceptance, it allows your heart to open up, because now you see what you have and you can look around you and be like, I can do it. And I think that I don't realize those things a lot when I'm in this quarter life crisis period, and I'm like, I'm hitting a critical point, life is over after this year. And it's just like, no, actually, when you turn 26, you're actually going to live even more life. But you don't realize those things because we're taught that, you know, we need it now, a sense of urgency, scarcity. Oh my gosh, last year, where's the toilet paper? Where's the toilet paper? Literally, people were looking for toilet paper everywhere because there was this fear of running out. Fear-mongering runs us as a community, and sometimes you just have to stop thinking that you need more, 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 and just be willing to use what you have and the resources that you have to change what's around you, instead of thinking that, well, when I get this, or when I get this, or when I get this, when you could just start on it now, because truly outward things do not make you happy. Because I have gotten paid more money, more this, more that, and still been unhappy in situations. So I just encourage everyone out there that's going through a quarter life crisis to really sit back and don't let those moments define you, because life goes on and you will hit your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, God willing, your 60s, your 70s, and your 80s. But it takes time, guys, and I think we have to have patience with ourselves. And when we go through these things and we just allow ourselves to downward spiral, it can be very dangerous. And I know I've experienced that, where it's just like, I just want to give up because I just feel like nothing's happening. But the reality is, this time is going to pass by anyway. So as God is taking me through different things, it's okay. And another thing that the quarter life crisis has taught me is to accept failure. I think accepting failure has been huge and monumental for me, because I think naturally when I fail at something, I go into panic mode and I just be like, why me, God? Why me? Instead of just accepting it and being like, hey, this is a learning curve, and what is the goal that I'm trying to reach? And is this beneficial? Okay, I probably failed at it, but guess what? You'll get another chance and you'll get to keep going. And I think when I accept those things and accept that, hey, life is not over, I got to keep moving, and I'm learning through my challenges. You got to grow through grow through some things in life. And I think growing through things requires a little bit of failure. You're not going to learn things by constantly having success. And I know everyone's heard that, but I think that's so true for me, because I think as I go through these failures in life and these disappointing decisions, I'm just like, dang, like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Oh, I wish I would have done that. When it's just like, the more I should accept my failures and accept things and accept the learned lessons and make them better. And it should grow my faith and know that, hey, I'm going to make it out of this, instead of allowing it to just reduce me and put me in this bad, bad, bad spot. So I encourage that everyone out there just to accept your failures and know that failure is all a part of the game. And if you don't fail at anything, then you'll probably never learn. Fail up. Allow these failures and these unsuccessful moments to build you up. Don't make the same mistakes twice. And don't be too hard on yourself about mistakes. Guess what? You messed up. So what? Keep it pushing. Life is short. You have to be able to take those moments and grow from them. So I just want to encourage those things for people that are kind of going through things like myself. That, hey, just look at the perspective and just really be like, is life over for me in this moment? Probably not. It's going to move on. I know we sometimes look at moments in our life and we're like, this is never going to pass, but you'll be surprised. Things that were a big deal to me 5 years ago, I don't even know what was a big deal to me 5 years ago because that's just how small it is compared to my life now. And I think all of that just truly, truly matters. So I'm learning, I'm growing, and it's a necessary change. Also, as I'm going through this crisis, a number one thing I'm learning is that I'm valuable, and I can't allow people to define me. And what I mean by that is there have been some people that have devalued me, and I think I've always internalized that and been like, well, I guess I am this, or I'm just going to give up. But you don't have to allow other people to define your destiny. God controls your destiny. When someone comes into your life and devalues you or doesn't offer you anything, guess what? Keep it pushing and know who you're worth and know who you are and know what you stand for and see yourself the way God sees you. And everybody isn't going to see you the way God sees you, and that's okay. The most important thing is that you see yourself that way. So I think learning how to value myself and just learning to love myself and offering that self-care to me has made just a huge difference in my life. And I just want to just continue to do that. But I think the only way I can truly do that is by growing. So I just want to just be out there to grow. And as I conquer this quarter life crisis, I have to know that my life is not over and that I will make it through this. And one day I'll be 50 some years old listening back to this podcast. I hope, hopefully laughing, being like, girl, you did get through it. But I just don't want to ever be stagnant in life. And I think sometimes being stagnant in life or feeling like I'm just making a big old circle makes me feel like, man, like, oh my gosh, I'm failing or something like that. But it's like, no, actually, just those moments that I'm waiting on God or in that waiting room for God to bless me are just moments that really just allow me to grow my faith and allow me to have new experiences. Like, to think I went skydiving last year, and around this time last year, I went skydiving, and it was something that was life-changing. And if I could do that, I could do anything. So there's nothing I can't conquer in life. And I think now that I know that, I can go for the moon and reach for the moon and just know anything is possible. So I just want to continue to live life full out. And that's what I want to encourage for everyone out there. Just continue to live life full out. Continue to be successful. Continue to make the best out of any situation. But you can only do that if you're learning. So yeah, I just so much that I can just tell myself. But trust me when I say I have been in a true crisis state of emergency, just feeling so down on myself because things have not been working out. But things are aligning in God's timing. And I think sometimes nothing's ever out of order in life. What you're going through is what you're supposed to be going through, even when it's uncomfortable for us. This is how life is aligned. It's not out of order. This is what God wanted. This is what the universe had destined for us. And I think the more that I accept that now, it allows me just to be a better person. But I didn't always accept that. So I think all of those things were very dangerous for me and just allowed me to think that I was failing and that I would never rebound back or that my life was over. But I wish I would have embraced these difficult situations more. And now that I am embracing them more, it just makes me happy because I know that my life will get better. So, it's all in God's timing. All in God's timing, guys. So, yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Kind of just this quarter life crisis. And actually, it's a Netflix special. Her last name's Thompson, I believe. So, go check out her Netflix special. She has Quarter Life Crisis. Thank you to Nino, my coworker, for recommending it and making me take a step back, reflect on life, and see where I am. And I encourage everyone out there to do that because I think we can get consumed so much about just the current state of what we should be Kylie Jenner right now. Well, a lot of us probably won't make it to $1 billion. But that doesn't mean we can't accept and appreciate life as it is or appreciate where we are now. I think this constant need to more, this scarcity complex that's been breeded into us, that we need to keep going more. You need more of this, more of this. The earth is going to run out, it's going to run out. No, what is for you, and it's nothing you could do about it. God's already given to you. It's in your destiny. It's just that the path of getting to something is never as glamorous as it seems. When you look on a mountain or you look at the hills, it just looks so nice and smooth. When you start climbing those hills, guess what? Okay, it gets rough out there. Finding your placement, finding your balance, you start going through it, you be like, this is a little rocky hill. And it's the same thing with the waterways. It looks so beautiful when you're looking at the ocean, getting those waves. You be like, ooh, this water cold? it's doing a lot. These waters are rough, but you have to go through those things to learn those things. So that's just what I wanted to encourage everyone out there that's like me, that feels like they're going through this quarter life crisis, to know that life is going to be okay. And getting older is a privilege. It's something you should embrace. And when you're in your 20s, you young. So stop putting so much pressure on your 20s. I had a friend who told me, she was just like, girl, we're going to be 30 in like 4 years. And, life doesn't stop. And I think that it wasn't negative with the way she said it. But I'm just saying, like, I think so often we put so much emphasis on age and on time when it's just like things are happening in divine order in the way that they're supposed to be. And getting older is all a part of life's purposes. So if you're able to get older and you're going through these times and you feel like you're running out of things, you're not. You have enough resources. Everything that you have is within. And if you lean into that and know that you're managing your expectations and using what you have and making the most of out of that, it will all come full circle to you. But if you keep operating from just a spot of just stress, it's going to limit your growth. You have to let things happen. You got to let go and let things happen. If you don't, you in for a long life, okay? But yeah, so that's just some things I've kind of wanted to touch on with you guys, and welcome you guys back to the Call Me Other podcast, guys. I'm excited. I'm getting my energy back. I'm looking forward to it. There has been a lot of things circling the news. It's a crazy time in American history. Y'all know I'm a reporter. Interesting watching those news headlines and just seeing everything. The obvious thing that just came through the news waves is that Juneteenth is an official federal holiday. And for me, I love that anything that helps forward us as a community. But I do think symbolism is dead, and we do need to move forward with some plan of actions and legislations. And, the George Floyd bill should be passed and different things like that. And let's talk about making marijuana legal on a federal level and commuting some of these sentences and getting rid of some of these charges. People have felonies for marijuana, and marijuana is now legal in a lot of states. So those are plans of actions that I would like to see. I think lip service has served the Black community too long. So I do think it is time for action, and I hope that we do get a chance to see that. I think we are in a very progressive state right now, but freedom ain't free, y'all, and we're going to continue to go through some things, but I hope to see things get better. And I personally will save my thoughts for Juneteenth, but if you're hearing my commentary, you probably guess what I think about it being a federal holiday, especially somebody being from Texas. They call it celebration. I personally think it's sad, but that's just my personal opinion. And I think that it's progressive to honor everything that our ancestors have gone through. But if we're going to do that, we should also honor our ancestors. All of America should honor the ancestors by making legislation and making things possible that would allow for a better environment for all people of color to benefit, but specifically for Black people, that forwards us. And that federal holiday gives a bunch of people off that probably could care less. So I just wish that there was some type of legislation that got passed on Juneteenth that would benefit the Black community. But as they say, people are never grateful, so maybe I'm being one of those. But I just want to, something I've been seeing hit the airwaves, and I'm just like, interesting. Also, Ellen is leaving her show. They saying they wanted Tiffany Haddish to take over, but I think Kelly Clarkson is getting a gig. I don't watch Kelly Clarkson's show, so I am interested to see how that is going to go. I'm surprised they haven't moved Tamron Hall to anything more, pressing. She's still, I'm surprised they haven't moved her show to one of the, let me see. Yeah, because I think her show is like mostly, not on one of the main spots. So I think that would be nice for a change to kind of get Tamron Hall some more play and get her some more sponsorships. So that's just me. But yes, guys, that's kind of what's going on through the headlines. A few old headlines for you guys. I wish I could give y'all something fresh. Let me try to look it up right quick and see what's in my news feed. My news feed. Bum, 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 bum. Happening around our communities. Oh, the variants are big news. Wildfires are big news. People ending unemployment. They have the first active roster player in the NFL to come out as gay. Donald Trump's former bodyguard under scrutiny in New York probe. Yeah, I don't really see anything that's too present on these timeline. And right there. I think we're going to leave the episode on that. The quarter life crisis and going through. But yes, story of missing. Yeah, we might do some, we're definitely going to do some more story times. But, it looks like, yeah, it doesn't look like anything too, pressing. It's just, on my timeline. So. Oh, and shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. That's right, Texas in the building. Tokyo Olympics, I can't wait to see them. I think they're going to be exciting to watch. If you don't know the story of Sha'Carri Richardson, you better go check it out. One of the premier top athletes. Y'all going to love her. She's signed to Nike. I can't wait to see all the publicity they're going to give her throughout the Olympics. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Olympics to be back. I'm feeling it. Okay, so good luck to her, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited for her journey because it's going to be crazy. But yes, guys, I'm ending this episode on a positive note. I want everyone to be encouraged and know that it's going to be okay. Take some time out to heal yourself and not be too hard on yourself, and know that it does get better in due time. So peace, love, and in abundance, you guys. And I will see you for sure this time next week. All right, guys, that is this week's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. Be sure to tune in every week to check out all of our new episodes. We are available on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, and I want to give a special shout out to J Visuals for the graphics. So be sure to stay tuned for more exciting things to come. Have a good week. Be blessed and in abundance.